Absolutely. All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I want to welcome Brian Sherwood. Man, this guy's a badass. First of all, he put up with me for 7 years. We built this business the last 7 years, no revenue, bootstrapping, keeping it along. And he has helped me build this business up and never gave up. He's got a BA of biology from the UOP. He's a certified fitness nutrition coach. But his claim to fame, he's been a top Max Muscle franchise for 20 years. And he has massive influence in making a difference in people and giving them simple nuggets for these transformations. So we want to give a big round of welcome to Brian today. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Give me your current stats.
I'm 6'1". I'm about 260 and about 23% body fat is where I'm sitting.
Okay. Good stuff. You know, I think our viewers would like to hear the beginning of your journey. Could you walk us through the early days and what initially sparked your interest in health and nutrition?
Sure. So I was a fat kid. That really is what did it. I was 260 pounds my junior year. And in the summer, working at a farm, got on a scale, had dropped about 15 pounds and said, screw it, it's time to go. And dropped 80 pounds between my junior and senior year in high school. Was always athletic, even fat, but significantly more athletic at 180 pounds than at 260. Played Division I sports. And when I graduated, didn't know what I wanted to do and ended up buying a Max Muscle franchise in 2004. So we're coming up on 20 years. And I've been doing it ever since. I love helping people. And that really is what kind of feeds me, is being able to help people live healthier lives and feel better and be happier, really.
Okay, that's good. In your personal journey, do you find you have more energy and more confidence now?
Oh, sure. I mean, certainly, like as growing up, I mean, I was, extraordinarily unconfident, shy, not outgoing at all. I mean, I wouldn't even make phone calls. I would have my twin brother call and pretend to be me. And when I lost all the weight, it was like, oh, here's this new Brian. All of a sudden, I felt better. I was getting more attention from women, from men too. I mean, just in general.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You people look at you differently when you're in shape versus fat. And so, yeah, it's absolutely changed me, and it's totally different. And it's interesting, though. It does take a while to get rid of that fat kid mentality for a lot of people out there.
Okay.
You lose the weight and you still feel in your brain, you're like, shoot, I'm still, heavy, and really you're not. So it's an interesting transformation of not only body, but mental. It's mental as well. Very mental.
So I can relate to it because, I'm almost 4 years sober, March 27th. Who's counting?
Yeah.
And it was a dramatic, when I made the decision not to drink and start my fitness journey again, my self-confidence was shot. I was not happy. I had no energy. And now it's just such an amazing gift. And I love working with you because I know you love giving back. I'd like to segue into your most impactful client, Jeff, before and after. You sent me pictures this morning.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's like a different human being. And please, give us a little time on this and on the journey and how he feels all of it.
Sure. So Jeff was a customer for about 10 years, and he's about 6 feet, 6'1". He was 450 pounds, about 52% body fat. And I was on him for 10 years to let me help him. Hey, Jeff, let me do a meal plan for you. And he just wasn't ready. And finally one day, he came in here and he said, okay, I'm ready. And so I said, okay, Jeff, we're going to immediately reduce carbohydrates because we need to address insulin resistance and inflammation. And I said, as he's walking out, I wrote his meal plan. I said, you're going to lose 100 pounds in 6 months. And he said, you're, expletive crazy. And I said, okay. And the first month, he would come in here when he was fat, and he would sit. He was going to school, and then he had like a live-in, a disabled person that he took care of, but they had day class. So he would come in here and just hang out. and his ankles were swollen. He'd fall asleep nonstop in the chair. So the first 30 days he didn't work out. He lost 30 pounds, and I had him eating slightly over 3,000 calories. But
Okay.
what people don't understand is energy expenditure. How much calories you need is directly related to how much you weigh, because you're moving a massive distance. And so that's the biggest mistake really big people do, is they starve themselves, and that's not. I mean, you'll lose weight, but that's not the right way.
Correct.
So he lost 30 pounds. Then he started going to the gym. And Jeff was very consistent. He felt so much, even to this day. This is about 5-6 years ago. But even to this day, he feels so much better without carbohydrates. His body just responds very well to no carb.
So let me stop you there. He's been able to maintain this transformation over time.
Yeah. So
Wow.
basically, 6 months, 3 days before 6 months, he hit 100 pounds.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So he was about 350, went all the way down to about 285 at about 25% body fat. And then COVID hit. He got hit on his bicycle by a car and couldn't work out, and gained a little bit of weight. And then we actually made the conscious decision to increase his calories to allow him to put some muscle on. So bumped him back up to he went up to about 350 or so. Now he's down. He's about 280, but he's down in the high teens body fat. He's about 17% body fat, give or take. So yeah, he's maintained it, and he's had his ups and downs like everyone. But for the most part, he's been extraordinarily consistent and maintained his weight loss, and it's a completely different lifestyle for him now. He goes to the gym every morning. It's just part of his deal, and he doesn't ever want to go back to being fat, because the difference in how you feel is just extraordinary. And it did change his life. I mean, his old habits and a lot of the people he knew, were based on not being active, and now he's active, and it's different for him, but it's opened a lot of new doors and a lot of new people, and so it's been really awesome watching him develop.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. That's an amazing story, and I think it inspires people that just got it. When you make the decision to start, the results are there. Hey, with the rapid advancement of fitness technology, from food to apps, do you think this has changed our tracking results, fitness prognosis? What do you see as the next big thing?
So it's interesting. I'm actually still up in the air on some of the apps, because I think that they can be very valuable, but I think that for someone that is severely, has a severe emotional attachments to food from some type of trauma when they're young, I think that they can be a little bit damaging, because it's a failure if you don't meet your goal, and it points it out. So I think they are very valuable, but they have to be used correctly, and it's all about mindset. Whereas perfection is not necessary. You have to be better, and then when you plateau, you have to be better, and then when you plateau, a little better, and a little better, and a little better. And I think that sometimes the tracking is here's your goal, that's all you get, and people look at it like an absolute, and it doesn't need to be absolute. It just needs to be a best case scenario, if you will.
It's funny you say that. I go so much off instincts. When I desire protein, I eat it. When I'm training, when I desire to do biceps the day after I did them the day before, I do it. And I watch these guys looking at apps and the timer and this absolute, and they're missing the mind to muscle connection, the neurotransmitters that fire that. And I think it's a mixed bag. And I'm glad that you're in the industry and you see it that way. Hey, the food space, it's full of ups and downs, and it's very biased towards money. Some of the products out there. What do you see as the current challenges and solutions?
There's a lot of challenges.
Kind of broad.
I mean, the bottom line is you look at people in the 50s and 60s. I just watched a video of a high school fitness class, and these guys had to go across a ropes course. They had to do 50 push-ups, like 15 pull-ups. There's very few high school kids that could do that now. And yet this was the norm. And what's changed is all the processed crap. And so I feel like, you have so much just junk food that's so easy and so fast. And our lives now, especially in certain states, California being one of them, are so fast moving and rapid pace that we just look for quickness and ease, and we end up eating junk. So I think the way to be healthy really is to focus on whole foods. I mean, I believe whole foods are the solution. So, you want to eat real food and not chips and not junk. You want to have your protein and your carb. And so I think that convenience is still doable. I mean, that's what we're doing, right? Is making a product that is convenient yet healthy. So, I think convenience is still doable. It just, you have to know what to pick. And there's so much more crap out there, like you said, based on making money versus like actually trying to prioritize people's health.
So I know your customers, your store is very popular, the Keto Burrito, and you're selling about 500 a month. Why do you think your store is so popular with this product? What do people see in it, I guess? This is the Keto Burrito.
Yeah. Well, part of it is the taste.
Okay.
I mean, the taste is phenomenal. The chicken outsells the other flavors, I'll be perfectly honest. But I think the fact that you can get something that is real, that's real food. I mean, the chicken burrito has 4 ingredients in it. You know what I mean? You take the tortilla. Obviously, a low carb tortilla has more, but you take that out, it's 4 ingredients. So it's real food. And I think being able to get the macros that we have, the 35 whatever grams of protein, depending on which burrito, the low net carb and the high fiber, people find them very satisfying and very filling. And, they're very affordable. I mean, the reality is you go to especially now, you go and get crap food, at McDonald's, and it's $14 for a combo, and you're eating junk, and that's the thing I think that has made it so appealing, especially over the last, let's say year and a half or 2 years, is the way that inflation has raised the cost of everything. And we're still able to offer like, a low cost product delivered to your door if you want it. But at my shop, they just grab it. So it's easy.
The magic of the burrito is it's 35 grams of protein, 25 fibers, and it moderates your blood sugar through the day. You're going to eat less. And it's very simple because the average person gets 2 grams of fiber a day. RDA is 20. We're doing 25. It's good stuff. Hey, your experience as one of the best certified fitness nutrition coach in the U.S., you've mastered the art of balance. Can you, with your busy schedule and staying fit, what practical advice can you give our viewers who struggle to find time to exercise and eat properly?
Prepare. That really says on the food side, you have to have a plan, and that doesn't mean, you have to have everything perfectly made for the whole week, but you have to have an idea of what you're going to eat. You have to buy groceries for it. And you have to make things that are convenient. And so on the food side, I really believe without some kind of a plan, and I'm not saying it has to be like a rigid written meal plan, but you have to know what you're going to eat. If you're waiting till the last minute and grabbing what's there and convenient, it's not going to do the trick. And it's going to save you time. Ultimately, you set aside, a couple hours and, a week and do that. So that's on the food side. On the exercise side, there's a lot of things. If prioritize gym time, number one, okay? But I also understand that people take their kids to school. They work, especially in this darn state, they work 15 hours a day. They commute for 3 hours. I get it. So, there are things you can do. You can park farther away in the parking lot. Sounds dumb, but it makes a difference. You can get up every hour and move for 5 minutes. Like, these are obviously not going to get you to 5% body fat. But if you are overweight and you make a conscious effort just to move more, the difference that it will make is extraordinary. And so, depending on your fitness level, the amount of time you have to take is different. Like if you're attempting to go from 15% to 10% or 15% to 8%, well, there's going to be a lot more focus on what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it. But if you're 40% body fat, which, let's be real, 70% of the population is overweight or obese or morbidly obese.
Wow.
And that's only going up. Just the little things, I think, can make such a difference. And that's where, like, even talking about little tidbits, just small things can make a difference. You drink soda.
So on that, Brian, I'm gonna. What are a couple tips? What are a couple small things on that you suggest with your experience?
Sure. So, I mean, it depends on what the person does, but like, let's say the person, well, number one, if the person drinks, either if they drink heavily, either drink less or don't drink at all, because, alcohol is a killer. It's 6.8 calories per gram, and it stores as fat, and it screws your liver up from breaking down other stuff, other fatty acids. So alcohol is bad. That being said, I understand some people aren't going to quit. It's their part of their social life. Drink less and drink things that don't have sugar in them. So, hard alcohol with sugar-free mixers. If you're drinking soda, stop or drink diet. People freak out about artificial sweeteners. It's absurd. You have all these people dying from being fat, and they're worried about, aspartame or sucralose or, with my science background, we tested the mutagenic properties of 3 packs of cigarettes, 100 packs of Sweet and Low, or the scrapings off a piece of burnt toast. And the scrapings off the piece of burnt toast were like something like 100-fold more mutagenic than anything else. So, if you like charred food, probably not the best thing. But I'm just saying, like, worrying about artificial sweeteners and being 100 pounds overweight is freaking absurd.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's absurd, like beyond absurd. And
I agree.
I agree. Dude, I face that every day in here. People are like, oh, it has sucralose in it. I'm like, yeah, you have diabetes. Like, take some sucralose.
It's just the bad information out there, Brian. I drink Diet Coke almost every day, and the sweetener's inert. Nobody's dying from it. And I like being the way I feel. What's one last tip you'll give our viewers?
Look at your fitness journey as a long-term permanent lifestyle versus a short adjustment. Now,
right. Okay. That's a big one.
That's a big one. That being said, okay, I hear from a lot of people in the fitness industry, you don't want to do a fad diet. You don't want to do a cleanse because it's temporary or whatever. But I will tell you that if the choice is be 100 pounds overweight or start with the cabbage soup diet to lose 15 pounds and get you motivated, then that's better. And that's what people don't understand. A lot of people that have never dealt with being fat don't understand how, oftentimes you've literally developed neural pathways, neural connections of axons and dendrites telling your hey, I feel shitty, eat, or hey, I want to be happy, so I'm going to eat some cake because at birthdays I was happy eating cake. And so, they don't understand that. And for me, like I said, what did it, I lost 15 pounds and then I did the cabbage soup diet and I lost 10 more. Like, is it stupid? Sure. It's starving yourself, but I ultimately lost 80 pounds. So
right.
What's more healthy? You know what I mean? And so
do something to get momentum. I get that.
Do something to get momentum and motivation. And if that means, being unhealthy for a week, well, hell, you've been unhealthy for 15 years being 100 pounds overweight. So, do it, get the weight loss and then go from there. That's my.
It's great input today, Brian. And I want to thank you for being my partner. And I want to share to our viewers some upcoming products. We're real close to building their boxes instead of bowls. They're rectangular, but they have all the macros, but it's a full meal on the go. and we're developing 2 larger cookies that'll have 16 grams of protein and 0 carbs. So I'm super excited, Brian, for our journey, and I'm super excited we're making a difference. And I really feel that people now are tired of feeling terrible, and we can make a difference with little simple nuggets.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you for the time, and we're going to have a good run.
Oh yeah. And one more thing too, like a lot of people that I talk to, they tell me, well, I feel good. And they're 100 pounds overweight. And I look them in the eye and I say, no, you don't. You just don't know what it feels like to feel good.
Right.
And that's something I think that people need to understand. Your mentality, you've adjusted to this.
You're adjusted, yeah.
Believe me, you're not happy. You don't feel good. and you know, and I say, lose 100 pounds and then tell me you were happy then. You know,
No, it's very true. I mean, in hindsight, I was miserable, and I had gained 60 pounds, and I like being happy and I like being energetic. So anyway, thank you very much, Brian. I wish you a great day.